Welcome back, fellas. Let's put this in the ether. You know what? I know guys could be very aggressive, and when they get too aggressive, they let their emotion go. And when you let your emotion go, it's gonna be hard to control yourself in this situation. That's why a guy have the ability to control his anger and control his emotions, so he won't do anything he regret, right? Like put his hand on a woman, right? I believe that no man should ever put his hand on a woman. That's something a beta male cuck would do. Put his hand on a woman. I don't advocate violence against women, right? It's best to do if you are in an altercation with women, right? Best to do is to walk away. That's why I always advocate men do not argue with women. Do not argue with women. Do not debate women. Just stay quiet. Walk away. They don't need your breath, right? They don't need an ounce of your attention if they argue with you. They don't need your validations. By you arguing with women, you're giving them validations. That's what it is. The reason why I'm making this video up because there's a woman recently on social media that said that she don't need a man, this world don't need a man, and all that stuff, right? And then later on in her YouTube or whatever social media, she was complaining that she got hit by a brick, right? A man hit her with a brick, right? And her face was swollen big time, right? I'm sure you've seen it. It went viral, right? And she was complaining that no man helped her, right? No man helped her. Like, wait a minute. You were the one that said that men are bad and all that stuff. Now, when you're in a position that you need a man, now you're asking for a man to help you, right? I don't condone hitting a woman, right? I don't condone none of that stuff, right? What a guy did was cowardice, I think, but I can't say because I wasn't there. I can't. It gotta be something. I can't just take her story from him because there's gotta be something more to the story to make him react like this, right? But I digress on that. That's not the point, right? Not that her video is not the center point of this video. The center point of this video is that I want guys to be able to control them, control your anger, right? Control your emotion. That's why a guy emotion is not optimal for a man to handle, right? Some guys are able to handle the emotion. Some guys out there aren't able to handle their emotion because they wasn't brought up the proper way to handle their emotions because they're lacking certain kind of structures in their life. Like a father would provide a guy structures, right? Tell him to like do not snap at anybody, right? Control your emotions. If somebody try to altercate with you, walk the other way. You're a bigger man. You walk the other way. You wouldn't do anything that you would regret. You might go to jail and all these stuff, right? You don't want to be. You do not want to put yourself in a vulnerable position. I made a video about this before about a guy should not put his hand on a woman, but it's not gonna. But I'm gonna make it again, right? Because I want guys to get it through their thick skulls. Like, do not ever put your hand on a woman because when you do that, right? When you do that, you make other men look bad, right? And we don't need that right now, right? You make me look bad. You make all the other guys out there look bad. Now people are going to assume that men are very toxic, men are very racist. This is how this idea came about. This is how all these idea of men are violent and all this stuff, right? That men are domestic abusers, right? And we need to stop that because I don't think that's conducive to the men out there, to every man in society that say that men are very violent because not all men are violent. A lot of men maintain their composure. The only men that are violent is the guys that didn't have a proper upbringing, like having a father in his life raised by a single mother. Because there's evidence out there when women raise single boys, right? When raise boys, right? The boys seem to get more emotional, right? You can tell, right? I'm not saying all, but the majority of boys who are raised by a single mother, they get really emotional because the mother energy transferred to the boy, right? And the mom, women are usually emotional, so they transfer the energy to the boy, and now the boys become emotional as well, right? And then when a man is very emotional, emotional man is very dangerous because he's very unpredictable. You don't know what he's gonna do because he can't control his emotions. Right? That's why we have all these heathens out there doing all these acts. Criminals. Criminals are people that can't trust. Criminals are just people that don't know how to handle their emotions. All right, all these convicted thugs and out there, right? Killers and all these murderers, right? They're just people that can't control their emotions. When you can't control your emotions, chaos ensues, right? So men, we have to do better. We have to know how to control our emotions. So we wouldn't have to act violent in the world, you know. And I'm just getting tired that men are being portrayed in a different light, being portrayed as violent, right? And that's not the proper way of going about things, right? Like I said before and always, right? If they get into you, regardless of man or female, right? I know men could be this way as well. They could taunt you and try to get you in the fight. Don't do it, man. Is just increasing the risk. The point in life is reduce all risk possible, right? Risk comes with negative consequences. That's what it is, right? The more risk you take, the more negative consequences you can get, right? So when you engage in this activity, just be the better man. So what they call you a chicken? So what they call you all these stuff, man? Just walk away. Don't engage with these women, with these violent people out there, right? Just walk away. She don't. When you come, you're up here. When you come down to their level, now you're in a position where it's not good for you, right? You're much better than that. You don't want to put yourself in vulnerable positions. Next thing you know, you're on the 6 o'clock news, doing something that you regret to do, right? So men have to be better, right? Never ever. I know women could talk. They know how to push a guy's button, right? And this is why it's not a good idea to spill all your vital information to a woman, spill all your weakness to a woman. When a woman asks you to let go of your emotion, tell her your deepest darkest secret, don't ever do that, right? She can weaponize that information against you. They should use that information to push a button to see how weak your emotion is and get you to snap at her, right? Don't ever that, right? Just say, I feel like I don't want to talk about that right now, right? Or just don't answer that questions because you're not in a position to answer none of that question. Like, I feel like those are something that you don't need to know. I feel like those are just my thoughts, and I feel like it's between me and me. That's it. So if she ever asks you about that, just don't even answer that kind of questions. Move on to the next subject. That's not what we're doing right now. We're eating dinner. Why are you asking me about my emotion? Ask me how's the dinner. Oh, the dinner's good, right? Don't ask me. Oh, share me your deepest thought. What are you thinking? It's just, they're trying to they're trying to get into your head. That's what it is. Women are master manipulators. Like most men already know. They're manipulating things. So back to my point, right? They're gonna weaponize that against you and get you to snap, right? And I mentioned this a lot of time. Most crime that police report to are domestic violence crime. They report to a couple's arguing, right? And those are some of the things that you should take in. Those anecdotes, right? Those anecdotal evidence stories of what you should learn and what not to do. Those things should prevent you from experiencing the negative consequences, right? In life, right? So you should learn from other people's mistakes, right? And don't fall for this, man. Don't ever, right? Let me repeat myself. Don't ever, 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 ever put your hand on a woman, right? You are gonna regret it. Don't be physical with them, right? Quiet. Get out of that place and immediately get yourself to a safe place and calm down. If you're heated up, right? Calm down. Drive away, right? And just count to 10 and cool down. That's the best thing to do, right? Don't engage with a woman if your guys in a heated debate, right? Don't even try to argue with them, because they're gonna try to win the argument, and when they win the argument, you lose at the end. You gotta think about that. If they ever win the argument, you lose at the end, right? You lose your freedom, your life, whatnot, whatever it is, right? So and I think, to me, those men who put their hands on women they're weak. They're weak men. They like, why are you picking on women? Pick on somebody your own size. Like, women are known to be weaker than, so it's unfair just to bash them like that. And if she tick you off, just let it slide, right? Let it slide and walk away from that situation. And if she's that kind of person, why are you even with that person in the first place, right? And if she's some strangers out there, right, you just walk away from that. But I want to make this video to bring up this attention, right? Don't put your hand on a woman. It's gonna backfire big time. But on that note, guys, I digress. Let me know what you think. Am I making sense? Do you agree with what I'm saying? Right? If you like my video, I drop videos daily. If you want to support my videos, you can like, share, subscribe. And on that note, guys, as always, thanks for listening. Peace and blessings.